Not to mention, I mean, like, I'm a hospice social worker. I'm really busy. I've got Rocksteady. I've got 160 fighters. I'm trying to do classes for all of them and get things together. So a lot of good stress relief comes from boxing. So it's huge. And if I'm away from it too long, I travel for work. And so sometimes I don't get into the gym like I'd like to. I notice it and I feel it. And so it just becomes a part of your life.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Legends Boxing Podcast. I am so excited to have literally one of my favorite people in the world here today. This is Sherri Bickley, guys. Say hello, Sherri.
Hello, everybody.
She's actually Cupcake, just so you know, and I am
Princess.
Yes, and it's been that way since
I moved here 8 years ago.
Yeah, tell me what year?
Well, it would have been 2016.
Oh, wow. Yes. So 2016. Now, I want you to introduce it. What do you currently do right now I know you have a full-time job, but it's on your shirt right now. It's the Rocksteady Boxing program. I want you to talk about that.
Okay. So Rocksteady Boxing is a program, non-contact boxing for people with Parkinson's disease. And it is a worldwide program, currently about 760 affiliates worldwide. And we had the very first one in Utah.
Yes, we did. What? Right here in the Lehigh location.
Oh, yeah.
We were the very first affiliate. And then I say we, that was myself and Sherri. We went out to where?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
For how long?
3 days. 3-day training.
I don't remember. That last day was really hungover.
It was a little rough.
So
I did 3 days.
Okay,
You did 2.
I think I did 2 days.
Yeah.
But we both were certified.
It's true.
Both got certified.
It's true.
And then we came back out here and we started the classes like almost immediately.
We got trained in June and we started up in August. We had our first 3 fighters.
Yep, first
August.
3 fighters.
Yeah.
Yes, such an amazing time. Tell me, I remember all of this, but I want the listeners to know how this all transpired. What gave you the idea? What gave you this rush of, holy crap, we can do this, and Rocksteady's awesome?
Yes, for sure. So I'm a medical social worker by trade, so knew a little bit about Parkinson's. I boxed for about 11 years, and actually whenever we were going to move to Utah, the first thing I did whenever I found out we were moving here was get online and try to find a boxing gym. So literally before we even moved, found Legends Lehigh.
Where'd you come from? Where'd you move from?
Well, I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, but we were living in Colorado just for a year. We kind of bounced a little bit west and then all the way west, at least out here anyway. So we got here and started doing classes. And I remember walking into an 8:30 class and I was like 30 minutes early, because I'm very punctual. And you were in the ring with this guy that looked to be about 80 years old. And the only thing that struck me then, I worked in hospice and long-term care my entire life. And so I was like, okay, well, an 80-year-old in a boxing gym is not typical. And you were doing mitts with him in the ring, and I was watching, and he went to take his gloves off and get some water. And I noticed at that moment that he had a little bit of a tremor. And as he walked across the ring, he had a little bit of a shuffle to how he walked. And in my mind, again, being healthcare, I was like, he has Parkinson's. What is this guy doing? And so I started talking to him. His name was Tom, and he was about 80 years old. And he had shared that he had seen the Leslie Stahl special on like a Sunday morning show whenever her husband had Parkinson's and was doing boxing for it. And he had looked all over online and could not find a thing in Utah for this program. And so he just called the gym. I remember he said, I called the gym and this really nice man, meaning Princess, just started training me. And so he shared with me, he said, I've come off some of my antidepressants and I haven't fallen in several weeks. And he felt well enough to start doing some like daily activities that he had quit doing. So right away, like my social work brain was like, okay, this is the way to empower someone. My healthcare side was like, okay, Parkinson's, I know this a little bit. And then my boxing side was like, this is just kick ass. Can I say that?
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
absolutely.
It was. And so I hopped online and I found Rocksteady Boxing just by Googling boxing and Parkinson's after the Muhammad Ali things went away. Found Rocksteady, saw that we could go get trained and certified to open our own affiliate. I remember pitching that to you at a local restaurant, and you and your brother Rob were like, okay, let's do this thing. And so my poor husband, he's used to this. Like, I didn't really ask. I just came home and said, guess what we're doing, Matt? We're starting Rocksteady Boxing in Utah. And so that's how it happened, and got trained, started up, and the rest is history, as they say.
How is it doing now? How many locations? Because I know that it's a part of Legends. And so this was such a dear thing to my heart. You know, Tom was awesome. I mean, like when he first walked in, I remember when he first walked in, it was like a no-brainer to me. When he mentioned that to me, like I hadn't done any of the research about Parkinson's or anything. I just kind of, my instincts said, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Plus, my grandfather, my entire life, had Parkinson's disease, and he passed away from complications due to it. And so I have a very soft place in my heart for people with Parkinson's, and I understand the struggles and the challenges that they go through. So it was absolutely a no-brainer to me. And when we came back, like my experience, I still remember this to this day, was the first day that we went out to be a part of the class in Indianapolis. And I was just kind of observing for a minute and just standing out in this huge gym, like it's huge. And I'm watching some people, and I see this guy hitting a speed bag. And I just walk over to him and introduce myself. And he had been a Rocksteady member for 6 months. And his name actually was Guy. And he was just rattling away on this speed bag and just doing it really well. And I was super impressed. Had no idea he was actually like a member of Rocksteady Boxing. I thought he was like a volunteer, or he was there with us learning the class. And then he starts to tell me, he's like, no, I came in here about 6 months ago with a walker. And I literally last week, I just threw it in the garbage can because I don't need it anymore. And then they started class, and he's jumping rope with everybody. And I'm sitting here just like bawling tears out of my eyes going, this is amazing. The kinds of stuff that can happen and change. And so when we started here with 3 people in Lehigh, and now I know you're in multiple other locations. So how many of locations are you currently in right now?
Currently 4. We've kind of fluctuated. Of course, a little thing called COVID happened and things got a little bit crazy. So we've had as many as 5 locations. For a while during the pandemic, we're doing just Zoom classes 6 days a week. It's terrible. Very excited to get back to live classes. So now we're in 4 locations. We've got Bountiful, and then Sandy, Riverton, and Orem. And kind of span the whole valley, which was that was my goal. I was like, I want to dominate the valley with Rocksteady, and that's what we're doing, which is awesome. We have about 160-ish fighters right now. And again, because the population is so medically like transient, you never know what's going to happen. You know, some people are out for a little bit, some people are back in after they've been out for a while. So it just kind of fluctuates a little bit. So, but it's growing. It's growing every week, which is sad because obviously that's more people getting diagnosed. Literally 1 person every 6 minutes gets diagnosed with Parkinson's. But if they have to be diagnosed, like right now, the phone calls I get are, I got diagnosed last week and my doctor said you were the first person I needed to contact. And I mean, and that's what we want, because this is the only thing proven to help slow the progression of the disease. So the faster people get in, the more that they do it, the better off they are.
And you hear that, guys, proven. Okay, proven. And they did do a study. I remember that it's versus regular normal fitness or walking, boxing, conditioning type drills and exercise, coordination drills, those types of things is proven to slow down the progression of Parkinson's disease. Okay, it's an amazing thing, and it will actually like reverse a lot of the symptoms and things that Parkinson's causes. So how does someone get a hold of you?
To get a hold of me, they can call me. Do you want me to get my number?
If you want.
Hey, everybody. 913-488-6823. That's my Kansas roots coming out in the phone number. Or they can hop online, Rocksteady Boxing Wasatch Front. Email me there if they want to, or get out, send a message, Facebook, Instagram, all the ways.
Great, guys. And it's for a loved one too. It's for someone you know. It's for somebody in your community of people that you know. This is something they may not be aware of. They may not be aware of the fact that there's a program for them. Okay. And this really is a program for them, guys. It's I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be the recipient of a doctor telling you you have Parkinson's disease and how you feel right now. This is as good as you're ever going to be. Mm-hmm. That would be like one of the most horrible things to hear. And to have this light at the end of the tunnel of knowing that you have a community very similar to Legends Boxing. I know for a fact, because I helped Sherri start it, that the workouts being done in the class are very similar, and some of the exact same workouts we do at Legends. The culture behind the camaraderie, the people fighting for each other, it's very similar to the same thing. So that's why it was a perfect fit to be a part of Legends Boxing. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I think if you become a franchise owner, you have the option to being an affiliate of Rocksteady Boxing. So I know even our out-of-state locations, like in Memorial, Texas, they are Rocksteady Boxing affiliates, and they're doing Rocksteady classes there. So this is such an amazing program, and why I'm so excited to have Sherri here on our podcast today to talk about it. So let's talk a little bit of Legends, because I know you're a Legends member too. Mm-hmm. Okay, mm-hmm. So I remember that the very first time you came in for your class, you and Matt. Where did you box before that?
Oh, you want me to say the name of the gym? So we were at a Title Boxing Gym in Kansas City for 4 or 5 years before we moved here. And I got started in that because I have a nephew-in-law who's older than me, and he tried a boxing class, and he came out of that class and he's like, Sherri's like, I don't know why. He's like, but I just think you're going to love this. And so that was like, okay, well, I'll try it. Why not? And it's funny because like whenever I was growing up, like I had Rocky IV freaking memorized, every word of the entire movie. And still, if the soundtrack's on in class, I can like say the lines that go with the song. So I'm a total geek. So I've always loved boxing on some level, but like getting in and doing it changed. I mean, I lost like 35 pounds whenever I first started. And so again, like the second I knew we were moving to Utah, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have a gym. Now, I will say, coming into Utah and finding Legends, at first I was really disappointed because I knew, the Title culture, and I was like, okay, there's not one by us. Can I say thank God that it was Legends Lehigh that I found? And I don't mean to be disparaging at all, but like the things I've learned here as a member, the real boxing, like part of your tagline, it's real boxing. And that's been amazing. The technique, all of the things are awesome. And then especially, you had mentioned it, like the mentality, like the culture of Legends goes into the mentality of Rocksteady Boxing. If you're a person who gets diagnosed with Parkinson's, typically you don't know anybody else with Parkinson's. You might have known somebody somewhere sometime, but generally not. And so people that get diagnosed are afraid and they're alone and they get apathetic. And so when they come into Rocksteady Boxing, and it is very much embraced by the Legends tribe. We are our own tribe, but we're also part of that one. And all of a sudden you step foot in this class with 20 people who have Parkinson's or love somebody with Parkinson's, and you're not alone anymore. And that's huge. And so the Legends tribe mentality, it's so important to me that that's just part of our culture as well for all of our Rocksteady classes. And it's fun. We were just talking about like we're the classes after the classes, because we generally butt right up against the regular Legends classes. And like you see our fighters walking in the door, your members walking out, there are fist bumps, there is trash talk. Our people will come early to watch sparring in the ring. You've got coaches that will do mitts with my folks just because they want to. Amazing. I love it.
No, that's exactly why I wanted you to say where you boxed before. Yeah. Because why?
There was a plan.
It was so much better to come to Legends Boxing.
So true.
Yeah, no, and really, again, guys, like if you've listened to any of the episodes that we've posted, I hope you're catching on to the fact that boxing is kind of the aftermath of what we do. What we really do is change lives and really develop a place where people can be a part of and belong to, hence our core values. So yeah, no, this has been amazing. So talk to me about your favorite like things that you've been like over the years of Legends. Mm-hmm. So we were like, your first friends when you first moved.
You were my very first friend in Utah. That's why you're Princess.
Yes.
You really were.
Yes. Yes, guys, I am Princess. This is Cupcake. We've gone there. I actually have a shirt, a Rocksteady Boxing shirt that has Princess right on the back of it. I wear it proudly. But over these years, can you think of any story that stands out that has impacted you about Legends, or that Legends has helped you overcome something or see something through?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really think, again, I hate to harp on the tribe mentality, but moving to a state where we knew no one. I mean, we have Matt's aunt and uncle live here, and that was it, basically. He moved here for a job. And so coming into a boxing gym, and just immediately you feel like you were just dropped into the tribe. Like, people are coming up, they're like, hey, how are you? Who are you? How long you been here? And that just flows through any class you go to still. Like, if I walk into Orem and there are new people there that I don't know, and I'm like, hey, oh my gosh, this is your first class, what's going on? And it just gets to be part of your blood. And so it really is like this kind of like pseudo family that you step into. So that's been huge. Not to mention, I mean, like, I'm a hospice social worker. I'm really busy. I've got Rocksteady. I've got 160 fighters. I'm trying to do classes for all of them and get things together. So a lot of good stress relief comes from boxing. So it's huge. And if I'm away from it too long, I travel for work. And so sometimes I don't get into the gym like I'd like to. I notice it and I feel it. And so it just becomes a part of your life.
That's
a good part.
Absolutely well said. Couldn't have said it better. Make it a part of your life, guys. Yeah. Really, truly. If you're listening to this and you're not a Legends member, if you haven't taken a class before, if you have Parkinson's, if you know someone who has Parkinson's, get them to Rocksteady, you guys. Find a Legends. There's a Legends somewhere close to you, especially if you live in Utah. I promise there's a Legends close to you, and make a change. You can change your life for the better, literally just by walking into a Legends boxing or into a Rocksteady class. Come be a part of the tribe, guys. It's pretty simple. You won't regret it. Thank you very much.
Come volunteer with us.
Yes.
Come volunteer if you want to volunteer with people with Parkinson's.
Talk to us about that. Talk to us about the volunteer program. I
Yeah,
know. Let people know what that actually might mean.
Yeah. So whenever we're in Rocksteady classes, we haven't talked about this too much, but like, we train our fighters as though they're going to be in an amateur bout. They never step into the ring. They never get hit. So don't be thinking that. But they learn the punches that Legends teaches. They learn the footwork, the defensive moves. They work the speed bag. They work the double in bag. They're doing focus mitts. So getting a class of 10 to 20 people doing that all at once can be a lot. I often refer to it as herding cats. And so, and we also offer that same thing for their cornermen, like Mickey is to Rocky. Every fighter we have is welcome to bring a corner to class with them, to do the class alongside them, unless they need help safety-wise in the gym, then they're helping them. And so that's double the people, you know what I mean? And so that's a lot of moving parts. And so another thing that Legends has definitely given me is this beautiful pool of boxing coaches that have a heart for people with Parkinson's, who want to coach alongside me in my program too. So we have a lot of coaches. I have about 10 certified coaches that work with me to keep everything rolling. A lot of them are Legends members and or coaches, which is amazing. And then we have tons of space for volunteers, because again, the more volunteers, the more hands-on we have, the better the classes are, the better the experiences are. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Parkinson's can bring some balance challenges. And so, you have, again, a lot of moving parts. And so if I can have enough people throughout the gym to help spot some stations, to help people like get to where they need to be safely, we can get a little bit crazier with the workouts, which is just more fun. So yeah, always looking for volunteers.
Well, it's also not just about the, it's the level of the individual with Parkinson's. Mm-hmm. Like, there's different stages and progression of Parkinson's. And, like she's saying, balance issues, or even in a wheelchair or in a walker. Like, so coming in to help and volunteer to be a part of that, to have multiple sets of eyes on a class of 20, 30 people, it's definitely a value plus for sure. So if you guys are all listening to this and you're interested or know anybody that's interested, please rewind back to Sherri's number and her. Again, it's Rocksteady Boxing, wasatchfront.com, right? Mm-hmm. And you can find her email there. Please reach out. The Rocksteady Boxing will absolutely benefit someone in those kinds of situations. So thank you so much for being here. This has been, I think it's going to be an amazing value for people that are listening to this, that they're going to know that Legends really is all about just changing somebody's life. And that's why Rocksteady Boxing was such an important fit to the Legends culture, and still is to this day. And we love to see it grow, and we're happy that it is continuing to grow. So thank you so much. Like they keep saying, fight, fight, fight. Okay. That's what every one of us need to keep doing, guys. Remember, the fight only stops because we choose to stop. So if you don't ever choose to stop, you're just going to keep on fighting. Keep on fighting. Don't stop, guys. Legends Boxing Podcast. Thanks for being here.